As I say that, Rogue are going to stay around. Trimby has ultimate after having base. Maybe they do fancy themselves this mid-tier 3.
I'm gonna keep the pressure for now. As long as they have this cannon, again, it's hard for them to clear that wave. Caps is their wave clear, but he's fishing for the flank. That's the knock up into 2, but Trimby's on the way in. They don't have the damage. They don't have the tools to win this fight. That's at Comp. He's trying to go for the Xin Sec, but it will not work there. Cap stepping forward, locking him down. That's Comp dead. That's a big shutdown. That's 900 gold for Jankos. And suddenly G2 are turning it, but just as suddenly it's turned against them. Odoamne comes in. Double kill for the Gnar. Cap's running. Mauerang gonna keep the chase up. Keep him away from the base. Keep him away from clearing the minions, and they can keep the pressure in the mid lane. But instead, just chasing for the kills here as Odoamne uses his teammate's head to jump in. The knockback comes out. Caps goes down. Rogue set to end the game.
Yeah, they used everything to kill Comp, and then Odoamne collapsed. Larssen was still alive. The fight gets turned on its head. Larssen so close to Flame Horizon Caps, and if you told me that this would happen today, I would doubt you incredibly high. I would have so high doubts because it's Claps. Claps is back. Fantastic performances over the last couple days, and now he's being Flame Horizon in 24 minutes by Larssen.
Rogue unleashed certainly in this game. From the level 1, the genius play from Trimby, to the bot side 2v2 where Comp and Trimby came out on top, the top side skirmishes as well. It has been a fantastic game.
Look at how many things Comp has to dodge. First a flash knockup, and then everything and everyone G2 want is Comp. So they all dive onto Comp. Our flash from Jankos to knock 2 back. Of course he can't do it because the passive is on Comp already. Caps ult in, Akshan ult across. Everyone's going on Comp, but Larssen's still alive, and look at the side of your screen. Odoamne is arriving. Broken Blade jumps in, ult into the wall, and that'll be that.
So hard. Maybe if Odo is further away, maybe if Odo cannot join the fight with Mega Gnar, that could have gone in their favor, but it just does not work out. We're looking at a Rogue victory lap right now, 13K. Feels impossible to come back from. Miracles have happened, crazier things have happened. G2 have certainly had a tough time against Misfits closing out with this kind of a lead, but Rogue have been clean, they have been clinical, and there is no reason to doubt them now.
Yeah, it's just a Hail Mary play blocks for G2. They just have to engage. There's 2 inhibs down. If Rogue get this, that's it. 26 minutes into the game, 3 inhibs down. You've basically lost. So they're going to have to defend it with their lives. They've got summoners up on a couple of their members. We'll see what they can do with it. Targamas might need to look for some kind of Hex Flash over the wall engage. Caps maybe a stun card, but I think Rogue at this point are just way too strong. They're going to get the tower. Are they going to get the inhibitor? G2.
Mega Gnar on the way. Odoamne about to go in. Knockback on the Alistair, keeping away from the rest of the team. Victor ulti alone, zoning the entirety of G2 as Targamas is cut to pieces. Larssen flashing in. Absolute confidence. Death Ray will not connect. Targamas tries to buy a bit more time, but this should be it. 5v4. G2, can they hold the Nexus? Seems to me the answer is no. They're out of cooldowns. Caps is out of space to maneuver. Comp now stepping forward. Caps going down. That is the ulti from the Zeri, and it does not stop there. Flacken gone too. G2 slaughtered in their own base, and Rogue fighting tooth and nail. But after a long, hard-fought season, Rogue will be your #1 team in the regular season. They take their time with this win. They savor it because it feels damn good.
Great bounce back from Rogue. They lost to SK. There was a lot of question marks. Dominant game versus BDS. Dominant game versus G2 from start to finish. Ever since that level 1 play, the game was in their hands, and they never dropped the ball, not even a single time.
Fantastic. Individual landing from Larssen. Massive CS lead. Trimby with the heads-up play around that early engage. Comp on that bot side fight. Felt like the final nail in the coffin. Brutal, brutal game.
He was untouched. So many stacks. Broke their ankles a bit.
Yeah, and now Rogue get to choose. Who will they face in a best-of-5? They can choose between Misfits and G2. They have a choice. On paper, you would assume Misfits are the weaker team, but Rogue also just went to town on G2. So really, the world is their oyster. They can pick who they want. Fnatic, of course, will get whoever is not chosen. Shout out to Rogue. Round of applause. Fantastic regular season again. Excited to see what they can do in the best-of-5s, but key player of the game. At LEC on Twitter. Odoamne, Mauerang, Comp. Those are your options. No wrong choices.
I feel like the pop-off was Comp. But Odoamne, he was so consistent, useful in every fight, always where he needed to be, and he was the man that G2 tried to shut down, but they did the opposite. He was ahead.
Yeah. Dang. Intense. I'm just impressed, honestly. And I know we said this so many times, but we just didn't expect this much from Rogue coming in the regular season. Comp has been fantastic. Trimby has grown so much as a player. Mauerang has been a great fit. And the fact that Rogue have so consistently been this good in the regular season is fantastic. That said, Bit of a tone shift here for a moment, but while this is all fun games, there's still some serious stuff happening out there in the world. And before we head to the break, Riot Games is supporting and donating to the International Medical Corps, and you can join us in the effort to provide relief to those in Ukraine and the surrounding regions. The IMC teams are responding by expanding access to medical and mental health services for those living in the affected areas and working to help refugees. Your donation can help more people receive the life-saving care that they deserve. Please go to riot.com/donate to learn more. We'll be back after this with Trimby joining us for the interview and Otawamne in PGL.
Welcome back to the LEC for the last interview of the regular season. Rogue defeat G2 Esports today. And Trimby, thank you so much for joining me after this game. Congrats on taking them down. Such a master play from you on level 1 also. Maybe we can start talking about this. The fact that you went straight top lane, covering for the invent from Jankos and Broken Blade. How did you know they would come?
Okay, so first of all, hello. Very nice
Hello.
to be here. And yeah, it's really nice to win against G2, actually. We managed to win against them twice in this
Yeah.
year. It's already more than any time before. Best of one, so that's pretty nice. And second of all, well, we had pretty bad, I would say, like level 1 in terms of champions. Like we had Hecarim, who is easily punishable,
Uh-huh.
E-level, so at least that's what G2 used to also do. So, and they have a strong one. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit in the brush, see what happens. They came really late. I was a bit surprised. I thought they would come much earlier.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I was playing against Alistar. This champ doesn't punish level 1, right? He's like pretty useless. So I was like, yeah, I'm fine giving up my 3 minions, and Zeri will farm it up anyway, most
Yeah.
likely, because Alistar cannot punish. So yeah, I just decided to do that. It felt like they would do that because they're really they tend to be, G2 is this kind of team that is pretty aggressive, and they try to do as much stuff as possible. So yeah, we just flipped it. If that didn't work, I would be like 3 minutes behind, which is pretty bad, but
It's
I'm
fine.
playing against Alistar, so who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter so much in terms of the laning phase. But how much did it impact the early game for your jungler specifically?
Well, it for sure helped. I think it helped him out because
Yeah.
we already got Zinzao, not like out of the game, but he had to focus more on the farm, right? And trying to back up to the game when Hecarim is already clearing faster than him. So that was already a big plus. I guess for top lane it was not the best because he got really chunked, but I think he survived on 1 HP. I was like checking out. And yeah, he survived on 1 HP, which is huge from Odo. And yeah, everyone stepped up and it looked pretty good.
Yeah, it was a really well-rounded games on every side for Rogue here today. You get the first place, which is a pretty great advantage. I want to say I know the rest of your team is talking about who you're going to pick. It's going to be down to whether you pick G2 or Misfits. I know you can't say much as of now, but what are your thoughts on having to choose between these two opponents? As you said, you beat G2 twice. Misfits is a bit lower than them in the standings, but yeah, tell me your thoughts about having to choose between these two opponents.
Both teams are good, right? One team is the one that always like comes back even if they look bad, which is G2. Misfits is this kind of team right now that looked scary in regular season, right? And everyone had problems against them, at least in official games. So yeah, both teams look like not the easiest choices, I would say. But for now, I said to my team, because right now they're having a meeting, right? And I have to do interview. I just
I'm
said,
sorry about
like,
that.
I mean, nah, it's fun. It's not your fault. I said that, yeah, I don't really care, because if the team thinks that one team is better to face, I'm fine to agreeing to that, and that's just it.
All right, yeah, it's a group decision.
I obviously said what I felt, and that's it. But I'm not gonna really share what I think about it.
We will see in a few minutes. Anyway, we will have the brackets. You finished first once again, and how do you reflect on the season overall? You had such a great start to the split. Talking to Comp, also, he told me that things went a bit more complicated towards the second half of the season. How do you reflect on the performance from the whole team, but also yourself?
For the whole team, it was pretty good. We had a little bit of doubts, at least I had, in terms of how we play as a team and stuff like this, because sometimes we play really well, but sometimes it ends up being like a messy game that everyone does something really, not like bad, but it just shit happens, right? And it's just not much we can do at that point, and we just have to like trust each other. And that's the games when it's hard to like process it, right? Because you want to win every game, and then you like lose to those teams that are like lower in the standings. So that's for sure some of the trust and like fate issues that come in. But yeah, from my point of view, like I'm trying to like figure out how to work around it, and yeah, I try to help this out and try to trust more and more my team, because we're doing great and we have games that I'm really proud of. I think this game was really nice from us, and I was really happy from the game. And I just want to have more of those and not really think about the games where, yeah, it just feels like we didn't deliver. I want to deliver every single game, and yeah, it would be nice as a team to do that and be able to do something this year.
It will be a nice challenge. Also, during the playoffs, I know that you guys maybe have a revenge to take on playoffs and best of fives in general. How do you anticipate this new phase in the season?
I mean, we won more best of fives than we lost, so I don't really care what people think about the playoff thingy. Obviously, we tend to not play the best in some of the games, but it's just sometimes it just happens. You know, one player is not able to deliver the way he wants, but they need to step up. And last year we didn't manage individually and as a team to step up for people that couldn't really deliver at certain day. At least sometimes we could, sometimes we couldn't. So yeah, I just want to figure out and try to make it possible that even though we will have the worst day possible for every one of us, we'll be able to close out the game and be able to step up for each other.
All right. Well, nice to hear that things are going good for Rogue ahead of playoffs. My producers just told me that you chose your opponent, so this is safe for me to reveal. You will be playing against Misfits, I hear. You were telling me actually that this is the comeback team, the team that manages to win games out of what may seem impossible on the first side. What makes you believe that you won't? I mean, that you won't let them the opportunity to come back in a best-of-5 scenario?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's gonna happen like versus Mad Lions. Like I can't really tell you exactly, but I think that Misfits is not as experienced as G2 is, right? Let's say in playoffs. So maybe that's gonna be our card to win this best of 5. And overall, I think we're better individually and as a team against Misfits. So yeah, I hope that we're gonna be able to showcase it during the best of 5. But they're good players, so. And they were showing really good the split, so you can't really underestimate them. So I'm really happy to see what we're gonna do against them.
And you have 3 weeks to get ready for any opponents. I mean, when I look at the brackets and the teams we have, this is going to be stacked. And your ADC was telling me yesterday, actually, that it's super hard to predict who's going to take it home this time around. No team absolutely dominating the league. What are your thoughts on playoffs in general and how stacked and the surprises we may have?
I think overall I would say this lower standings, like 5th and 6th place, look much more stronger than previous year at least. I don't know if for sure in spring. I don't know in summer. And overall, the level seems quite neutral, like in the way that everyone seems pretty good. So. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen with all of those games. I'm not sure if like there's. I mean, obviously, Fnatic was looking the best like at the end of the second split, but I think every single team can deliver for playoffs, and that's what matters, just playoffs right now. So no one is gonna care about who did what in regular season when they're gonna smurf in playoffs, right?
Exactly. Best of ones are so different, and who knows how much teams can progress within these 3 weeks that you guys will have. Trimby, I don't want to hold you for too long. I know you want to get back to your team's access.
No problem.
So thank you so much for the interview. Once again, congrats on taking first place, and we'll see you back in 3 weeks for playoff.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, as always. And Shox, back to you for the last PGL of the regular season with Odo Amne.
Thank you so much, Lore. I think Trimby still wanted to answer some questions. I always love interviews with Trimby. He's so precious, and he put up a great performance once again. But we are here in the LEC post-game lobby with Goldborg and Odo Amne, because how could we not have Odo Amne on PGL for the last time this spring?
As always, it's an honor to be here and hang out with you guys on these fancy couches.
People do really look forward to the Odo PGLs, you know. Is it stressful? Yeah.
I mean, it's newest Netflix series, I guess.
Yeah, would maybe be good. All right, let's look back at this game. Rogue versus G2. I gotta say, Odo, I was a bit disappointed in that we didn't get an as close game as expected. If we look at both of your levels recently, what do you think it was?
I mean, killing Yanko's level 1 definitely contributed to the game. But I also feel like, I don't know, they were kind of predictable with most of the plays they were trying to do, because we killed Yanko's level 1 when they're kind of doing the same level 1 that they've been doing for like the whole split, and they keep doing it, and it was a bit bizarre that they keep trying to do it. And then we killed Caps on rotation to top dive. That was very telegraphed as well, and he's walking there without sums, and I don't know, it just felt like they're just kind of autopiloting their plays. And also draft was a massive diffy this game, I think. I don't know, I mean, looking at meta picks right now, the champs we got were complete prio champs. Zeri, Hecarim, Victor are perma pick or ban in pretty much almost every major region, especially in EU, because we do love these sorts of champs. And I don't know, it felt really weird to get all 3 of them on blue. You know, we went to 2-3, and then we were like, why should we just pick both of them? Because we were like, you're not used to having both of them just open like that, and we're like, well, I guess we take them, you know, because we had like something else planned as well that we were gonna go for, and then we were like, I mean, it's just stupid to not take the 3 most OP champs in the meta right now. So yeah, I mean, all of these factors were kind of the reason why they lost so hard.
In that regard as well, because up towards the laning phase you had against Akshan, which is a ranged top laner, it looked a little bit dire. You almost got solo kill there, level 1. How did you feel about the matchup in lane?
Jesus, Goldberg.
I mean, almost doesn't mean anything, no? It's like, if my brain is on, it's like, if either, like, I was like, okay, he's gonna Q flash, and I'm gonna flash, and then it's fine, and then he misses CS this whole time, so it was like, kind of, yeah, that's the way the matchup will go, especially after the level 1 where I was forced to take E and just fight for the level 1 invade. And I mean, overall, I did say that going to this game, I knew that I was going to play Nard into Akshan most likely. And I was like, yeah, we just need jungler to path to top because they're probably going to look to dive on 3rd wave. And if I make it to 1st base, then this matchup is completely free for me, which is kind of what happened, you know, because I don't know, the volatility that happened level 1 was actually good for me because he was forced to take an early base. And then I got to just straight slow pushes, which is kind of a dream scenario for me to just farm it up. And then, yeah, I don't know, at like level 5, 6, 7, I can start contesting really easily. And he just runs out of damage to kill me. So.
And you were definitely more useful in the team fight situations that you got into as well. You played them very well, but it wasn't enough to get Kia player of the game.
Yeah, that's rigged. That's rigged. That is rigged.
Comp with 40% of the votes. There was a bit there where he was literally zooming 1v3 in the bot lane. Were you watching?
Yeah, I mean, I saw. It's honestly, it's just what is it? It's the year the champion was made Diffy. Kind of. I'm playing 2000, not as
champion release.
2016
release
champion or so. 2015 champion. Even older than that, I think. It's 2014, I think, because I was playing my promotion game in LEC.
Yeah, Nar's been around for a while.
Yeah, and he's playing 2022 champion. So honestly, yeah, you just look at the champion, you're like looking at the release date, and it's like, yeah, that's the champion I want. That's the flashy.
Do you know
champ.
our stats people actually do have a ranking? They have like a release date difference ranking, and they look at if it's actually the case. And I believe that the first couple of weeks in the season, or like by the halfway point, all the newest ones were losing a lot.
Really?
Yeah, but then Zeri came out.
But there's also just the stuff like you get champions like Twisted Fate that's been in the game for the longest time ever. High elo, or high win rate. The likes of Garai,
Perfect
so
champion,
high prior
honestly.
as well. Like some of the season 1 champions, you don't want to sleep on them either because they're just
That's
so
true.
binary
That's true,
that they're
but,
quite kind of broken.
But I hear you about the some of the champions that get released. Do you think
It's
Renata is
copium. He
crazy
didn't
too, or
get
is she
the win rate.
balanced?
I mean, the thing is also with Zeri, if we look back when she got released, she wasn't really prio for a week or 2, and everyone was like, this champion is too weak, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, after 2 weeks, she becomes the most OP champion in the game. And I feel like that might be the case with Renata as well, but I'm more inclined to believe that it's not. It's not going to be the same level of OP, but for me, Renata right now is a good support champion that is maybe good to pick late in the draft, like maybe 4 or 5, or use as a counter pick. But I mean, I don't know. The way it's gonna be is like we're gonna have 3 weeks on the same patch, I think, because I don't think the patch is gonna change, if I'm not mistaken.
I think there's one coming, no?
And that's what I heard as well. But now that there's the Riot week off thing, then I think that they're just gonna postpone everything. So this is gonna be playoffs
I don't know.
patch.
Let me ask if production knows and if they can tell me. But go ahead.
Yeah, so that's there's gonna be 3 weeks on this patch. So I mean, even if you look at Worlds is like 1 month on the same patch, and by the end of Worlds, there's always a different meta than compared to the beginning.
12.5 in playoffs.
Yeah, so it's the same patch that we have right now. So, I mean, things might change. Renata might become really OP because most of the team's opinion is pretty high on Renata, but we need to see how high it can get.
So now you're on 12.4, by the way, but not on live.
Or like the live patch.
Yeah, the live patch. Indeed, sorry, just to clarify, Goldberg.
How often do you feel like the scrim culture kind of changes when you're picking champions? Because we had like the TF nerf that came through, then 1 week no one played the champion, now it's Prio again. Like, do you feel like it's a team mentality thing where you sometimes just try a champion too hard or don't give it a chance enough?
I mean, it's weird because I feel like it's mostly a bubble kind of meta because what was it? I think last year when we played Mad Lions with the Rogue roster and we got 3-0'd, that kind of happened because our main scrim partners for, or like our bubble of scrims for prepping for them was G2 and someone else, I forgot who it was. And Mad had their own scrim meta and their meta was just better and we just got 3-0'd, and I think G2 also suffered, or Fnatic suffered, I don't know. I think something happened where like both, like our bubble was getting completely stomped in playoffs. And then you're like, oh, well, you're kind of messing up real time, like big time. So what they're doing is obviously better. So that's why sometimes you see, like we had comeback in the playoffs. I mean, we still lost finals, whatever, but our performance after getting stomped 3-0 by Mad was like a lot better, just because we got to get out of that bubble, you know? So I feel like the same will happen this time, probably, where teams just get the main scrim partner and everyone just experimenting. And for example, TF is going to be really OP, and then we're like, oh yeah, we're just going to try, let's say, I don't know, Orianna or Victor into it, and we're going to be like, oh, this is really, really good, wow. And then the other part of the other team with their bubble finds a different counter, and then we're like, in our opinion, TF is going to be useless, but for them, TF is still OP because they just pick whatever, I don't know, jungler, let's say, or whatever. And stuff like this might happen. So I feel like meta will be reliant on what the bubbles are going to be about.
And I guess you can't avoid it because you can't scrim everybody. So
yeah,
it's just about who can adapt the most.
Well,
after
the thing is,
see.
we made a mistake last time where we were kind of screaming. We're like, oh, G2 is really good. Let's just scream G2 all the time. And we had G2 maybe 3 out of like, or like 4 out of 5 blocks. And we're like, yeah, they're the best team. We're going to scrim with them. And then we made a bad meta read because we were just screaming the same team. And I feel like it's just better to... Realistically, you can scrim everyone else except the team that you're playing against. So it's probably better to not pick a team where you're like, oh, they're really good, let's just scrim them.
I got him. Do you have another point?
I was just going to say, so that's why playoffs ended that way last year.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. Oh, suck. Anyways, let's take a look at the standings after the spring 2022 regular season. They're all locked in. Odo, what is the biggest surprise of how the standings ended up for you?
I mean, Misfits is pretty high. Coming into the split, I expected Misfits to maybe be not so high, maybe like 4th, 5th, 6th. Obviously, Vitality being where they are is a big surprise. But honestly, the biggest surprise is that Excel made playoffs because, I mean, it became meta for the LEC for Excel to not make playoffs.
Meta, lol.
And right now, it's like, I'm really happy for Excel that they finally made playoffs. Mad Lions also a tragedy, honestly.
Yeah. So are you surprised Team Vitality is as high or as low as they are? What do you mean with that?
I mean, Vitality, everyone's like super team. Everyone's like riding on a copium train, like Nirvana, all of this stuff. They're like the messiah of League of Legends in Europe and all of this stuff, and then they end up 6th, you know? I mean, granted, I think G2 also was like 2 years ago, they ended up 6th, and then they won LEC, so it's like, all of this might backfire, you know, in 2 or 3 weeks, because like right now it's even playing grounds. Everyone's back to 0, and everyone's just gonna work hard and kind of try to iron out their mistakes, and honestly, it's everyone's game at the moment.
So you're saying getting first place this time around in Reckless East will mean you'll get first place in finals?
Maybe. I mean, if you lose, sucks. That's life.
Sure.
Can't really do much about it, but I mean, it would be nice. But I don't know. That's what I mean. Just because we're first right now doesn't mean anything. We were first last year, and we ended up losing super hard. And yeah, that's what I say. Just even playing ground, just start from scratch and just do everything you can, do your job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Starting with Misfits, that is the opponent you have chosen. I think all information that was available to you, considering that is a very acceptable choice. Knowing that you now also condemn Fnatic or G2, no matter you want to look at it, to a match versus each other, which is really cool. And of course, we have XL Vitality. You are, in fact, also the first game on Friday in 3 weeks. So, or the first match, rather. Trimby already talked about it a little bit, but what went into the motivation of picking Misfits?
I just feel like Misfits, when they play right now, they're kind of showing all of their cards. You know, looking at G2, I expected a different game today, a harder game where, I don't know, I feel like they didn't really play to their standard today. And I feel like that G2's potential to, like their gameplay potential is a lot higher than Misfits, in the sense that they're also quite unpredictable and they're a lot more aggressive on how they play around the Broken Blade, I feel like, because Caps, Yanko's Broken Blade kind of have this dynamic of just playing around each other very well and being very aggressive. While for Misfits, I just feel like it's VTO one-man army, and it's, in my opinion, kind of easier to prep against something like that than G2's unpredictability.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yamato gave an interview 2 days ago, so on Friday, where he was asked about kind of his ambitions. And he said, we're going to be #1. If we're not #1 at the end of, so basically after playoffs, that would be a huge embarrassment. Then, of course, promptly that game versus Misfits happened right after. And I think all of us have been riding that Fnatic train as well. I mean, of course, you know, we are the LEC crew, so that's what happens. But what's your vision on it now that they've like dropped a couple of games here and there, and especially that game versus Misfits? How strong do you think they are?
I mean, definitely. Even coming to the split, Fnatic and Vitality were the two teams to kind of look at. Fnatic made, my opinion, big roster improvements with the pickups that they had. So I felt like they were a clear contender ever since the beginning. I thought that they were better than Vitality Super Team, you know, even from when they made the roster. So I feel like those are fair ambitions, even though it's kind of a very generic PR answer.
That's fine.
In a way, it's true, you know, like a team like Fnatic that has like a pedigree or whatever the word is, and they have like, they made roster improvements as well. It's only natural for them to aim for, you know, the #1 spot. But I do feel like they still have things to work on, just as we do and every other team. No one reached like this level of like being one step ahead of absolutely everyone in the league. So yeah, I mean, definitely a worthy contender, and I feel like their ambitions are real.
Now, you talk about Misfits being, okay, you didn't say necessarily super easy to prep against, but maybe easier than G2, because they might have shown all their cards just right, like, already. You're famously known on Rogue for only performing in best of ones. You're finally going to be moving into the best of 5 stages. You quite often draft the scaling, like the Victor, or Jinx down towards the bot side. Do you feel like as Rogue that you have showed all your cards yet, that you have shown all the potential, yet moving into a best of 5 where you may say that some of your styles may be a little predictable as well?
I mean, even if the answer is yes, it's not like Misfits showed anything else, you know, that is like out of this world. They're kind of playing similar. You could say that they're even more predictable because they're like, yeah, if mid collapses, then yeah, that's it. I mean, they're drafting the same for bot. Most of the time, for the same for mid. They also have maybe, you know, Akali that is super behind early game, and then she collects some free kills with the Yumi on top, and then they win 10k gold behind games. But realistically, those games should have been lost even with like picks like this. The reason we're playing the picks that we are playing is that they're just the best in the meta, and they guarantee us a lot of leads, you know? So even if we showed all of our cards, doesn't mean that, you know, it's bad or teams figure us out, because right now there's also a new patch, you know, there's Hullbreaker changes that are coming through for top lane. Maybe there's stuff happening for mid, that's why. All that we showed so far doesn't really matter anymore. Like all that everyone showed so far doesn't really matter anymore, because with new patch and 3 weeks to prep, you know, we might be the team that ends up playing Akali in 3 weeks.
So with the short answer, you feel like moving into the best of 5, you have the adaptability for a best of 5 now as well?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I feel like the thing that was crippling us last year was not really the predictability or the fact that we're, you know, playing the same stuff. I feel like it was just, there was no harmony in the squad. There was like, everything was so reliant and on us winning, you know. I felt like it was kind of like that sort of team dynamic where everyone is really happy with each other as long as we win, and the moment we lose, everything collapses. So I feel like the dynamic definitely changed now, and I feel like that's more important in a best of 5, because I feel like there's a different level of trust between each other now compared to last year. And yeah, I think that was the main thing that made us, wouldn't really say choke, but like underperform when when losses would start stacking in playoffs or whatever. That's why we collapsed, just because we weren't really, you know, best teammates with each other.
Yeah. Oh, I love that insight. Thank you so much for that. Also, I think people sometimes use choke too fast. When like sometimes if you have a close series and you end up losing, that just also happens. It isn't always choking, you know, but I think people love saying that.
I mean, 10k gold ahead, game 5 of the series, into losing, that's a bit of a chokery if I've ever seen one.
Okay,
It's a difficult case here, I'm not gonna lie.
That one's probably true, but let's not think back of that. Oh, I also wanted to just congratulate you, because I think so often we go rightfully into Goldberg's questioning here now about like best of 5s and whatnot, but it's really incredible what Rogue has done the last couple of years in general, and also since you have been on the roster. You guys are so good in the regular season. You get #1 again. I mean, I just wanted to congratulate you for that, to reflect on that for just a second, because that is something that does get you in like the history books in terms of great European performances, right? Although I know that for you, it's probably not finished until you get to lift that trophy, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been a while, you know. I've been in this position where I win regular season. Not sure if many times, but definitely a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, it's on us to kind of change the narrative now from being a good best of one team, because honestly, best of five is not really that different, I would say. It's just when you have such a negative stigma attached to yourself, it really takes an extraordinary like deed or effort to kind of change it, you know. It's like, I feel like the only way that is gonna satisfy the people that doubt Rogue or like the haters or whatever is Rogue needs to win LEC for the stigma to disappear, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like up until the point, no matter the performance we will have, if we have like heartbreaking 2-3 losses that we played really, really well, people are still gonna be on this negative stigma until we win.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. I love that, changing the narrative. One best of 5 at a time. Now let's take a look at the final ranking in the Kia player of the game leaderboard. No.
Oh, man.
It's not even close, bro. It's Viteo. He's smurfing it. He wins.
Yeah.
And Viteo and Hylissang are both actually miles ahead of the competition, which brings us to our final topic, which I'm not going to keep that long. I'll let Goldberg start. Who is your MVP, Goldberg?
I mean, for me, and I will be biased because I'm a support player, so yes, now you can rule me out on Twitter like you did with Medic. I think Hilly, the pressure he brings to Fnatic
Don't let the mob get to you.
Oh no, that's free exposure. Any exposure is good exposure. I'll take it. Just go to my Twitter and give me some. But I genuinely believe that Hilly's pressure that he actually has on Fnatic is absolutely incredible. And it was hard to feel like that Hilly from last year was going to evolve and become even better. But I feel like this split he actually did.
Odo, what do you think?
I mean, I am somewhat on the VTO hype train. Even though like Hylissang did incredibly well, I feel like there's also this thing where people want something new because they're like, Hylissang won MVP a couple of times before. Everyone knows how good he is. And I feel like this narrative of pushing someone else than Hilly is kind of also the result that people want something like new.
Oh, so you're thinking about the whole narrative, right?
I also feel like, yeah, I mean, there's implications.
He's getting ready for broadcast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not only like the narrative
Retirement plan covered.
But I don't think it's also, it's from the cast, you know. I don't think it's like the cast that is pushing it, but just like people like when there's something new and fresh. So I feel like the community would really, really want VTO to win just because it's like this underdog story. He's one-man army in Misfits and all of this. And yeah, but I mean, Hylissang is like, when you play Fnatic or when you play Hylissang, it's like there's always something. I'm more scared playing against Hylissang, you know, than VTO, just because, I mean, Hilly just proves time and time again that he's a complete psycho, you know? So it's like, there's that factor in it. I mean, I don't know, it's a tough call, you know, because I feel like both really deserve it and
Really
both have
deserve
like
it.
incredible contributions towards there's like team success. I mean, saying that, I still... I'm one of the plebs that wants something fresh, so I would hope that VTO gets it, you know?
I can see that. I think it's so cool also that this is like the discussion, right? It's not like 2 ADCs or like whatever. I really like that it's support and mid, and that's especially someone with the story of VTO. It's
weird how we don't have any top laners.
No top lane. You only had 2 Kia player of the games, unfortunately, apparently.
Only 2?
Yeah. Don't know what's going on there.
Yeah,
Are you not mad about that anymore? You used to be.
I mean, that's just life. I'm just going back in my top lane cage, and I'm just waiting for a miracle to happen, you know?
Okay, I'm gonna take a selfie before we sign off. Wait, I can't hold these both, so you guys have a chat.
How are you doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Lovely weather.
Was it? I feel like it's been kind of cold lately. Is that the kind of weather you like? Or are you summer winter person?
I mean, I kind of like, I mean, it's nice. It's all right.
Okay.
Oh, look, I'm over there. Wait. What is it? Oh,
It's
wait.
over there.
What, that one? The red dot. Hey, stop looking at me. It's really awkward because now we're just like all posing there in the camera. It's like, hey, look at how they're taking a picture and stuff. It's really bizarre.
I'm forgetting that my mic is not glued to my face at the end of this. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. That's all from us here in the LEC Spring 2022 regular season. We hope you enjoyed the shows. It was plenty of fun. We'll be back in 3 weeks. Mark the date in your calendar, March 25th. That'll be round 1 of playoffs, Rogue versus Misfits. Until then, though, there is Liga Legando over in the LCS.
Boo!
Don't do that.
Immortals versus Team
Oh,
Liquid.
Team Hans.
Have a good night. Bye, everyone.
See ya, nerds.
Welcome everyone to Berlin, Germany, home of the LEC for the final day of the Spring 2022 regular season. Today, we will find out which team will follow the footsteps of Excel and lock in the last remaining playoff spot. Is it going to be the super team Vitality or the back-to-back champions, Mad Lions?
You have TP'd in the Gnar, who's finally going mega as Streets trying to make this fight work. Double kill going in for Jezu, and he is just free hitting now on the backside. Triple kill for the SK80 carry as he gets himself a Quadra as well. They're saving him. They want this. They know they can get it. Penta kill for Jezu. Zanzara taken down. They can't get the Shadow Surge onto the backside. It's going to be a double knockup. Kobe has to go off, but he's just not got the damage. Vitality get themselves a full, clean ace. Alfari now on the backside here. We'll be going mega very, very soon. Zanzara, though, will not fall down just yet. The Cataclysm comes in with the Gore Trigger. He hasn't fallen. Now he does. Alfari, though, left in a very precarious position, and the rest of Vitality have come to save the day at the final port of calling. Lock the last remaining spot in playoffs, and they will face Excel in round 1.
And Man are probably they're gonna end their entire split on a win, but this win unfortunately won't do anything for them.
Bit greedy here, and now comes Hillisang. Hostile takeover. He has the flash as well. He can just ulti if he wants to. He's got the handshake to kick things off. Ulti's gonna go in. Oh no, Milk just killed Mitty! Oh, not like that!
It's cold blood! Right in front of his eyes! He killed his teammate, the betrayal!
Wonder now trying to turn it.
GG!
Range, Comp, you absolute mad lad. He goes golden, but he's got so much damage. The stacks are still there. He's like lightning. He just keeps moving. The stacks are still coming. The rest of Rogue is on the way. Comp, the absolute hero play. Zeri, so damn fast, and it looks good. Comp makes it happen.
I had my fun.